he can gain y'all some emotional intelligence.
Serving an esoteric world. Pull up in that esoteric jolly, then I back out. These spirits got so caught inside the esoteric trap house. The shadows fully crack out. They flying on a mission. They high off attention. They're knotting off a vision. In the middle of going live. You just sound confusing. All those riddles don't coincide. The little you know inside ain't enough. If they sleep, wake 'em up. You can fuck with anyone, just make sure it ain't with us. Yeah. What? Don't do clown. What? Yeah. Okay. Don't do clown. Yeah. Okay. Don't do clown. Yeah. Rain on jive. Rain on jive. Yeah. Don't do clown. Yeah. Okay. Don't do clown. Yeah. Okay. Don't do clown. Yeah. Rain on jive. Rain on jive. Yeah. Oh, am I dying? Just like it's fine. You look the fine. Looks like a section rolling it up. Just like a bud. In my past, the restrictions statistics woken me up like shit in my cup. To honor you, my women tell us taking holes of because the bitches are sluts. Yeah, can't do shit with gods and fearless, but too many people feel theyself. They'll do anything for the clout, to the point that they'll kill themselves. We got aunties from the next stand, they'll need man, so homeboy, you can chill on help. Everybody gotta play their hand like a deck of cards, but the one God gonna dealt. And the cards got shuffle, don't deal with guilt. Utility strapped like a gilder's belt. How you got the age of a young ass man? But got the face of the elder elf man. Put the double cut down, unless you know how to do it in moderation. You know you're fucking up now because you know you were stupid and lost and brainless. That one got exclusive, the broad you dating. The whole industry that had her. Look at this no chemistry together. Cause me that whole sympathy don't matter. She on the post, sipping now and after. Getting dollar bills thrown at her ass. But everything now is virtual reality, so our only fans don't get the cash. Cause she was high just with the double scar, so don't do clown. Yeah.
So if I know that shit, new nigga.
Don't do clown. Yeah. Okay. Don't do clown. Yeah. Rain on jive. Rain on jive. Yeah. Don't do clown. Yeah. Okay. Don't do clown. Yeah. Okay. Don't do clown. Yeah. Rain on jive. Rain on jive. Nobody knowing me. Nobody knowing me. Nobody knowing me. Nobody knowing me. Make them never going both ways, even if I'm driving on the street. Say I'm on 1, 2 in a third dimension with a phone 5 up on a seat. I'm lit up like 7 candles, but the smoke at 8 till a nigga 90 and deceased. Yeah, I got 10 bitches coming through at 11, fuck 12. I be on the creek, the freaks come out at night, and we can see them all on Instagram. We know what they think when they go on Twitter. That's all like an upside down pictogram. If you not paid a fool, go and get that man. Cause you keep complaining about your contract. You don't know where your money going, and you keep remaining out of contact. You should keep it basic when you call back, and you should really just get straight to the point. Get more direct when you make it your point. All of us Michael, just stay on your point. Whatever you do, just make sure you on point. You don't need a style for cup, but everything that you did online, I be thinking that you wild as fuck. You niggas on the drug, so I got like I tell ya, don't do clown. Yeah, okay. Don't do clown. Yeah, okay. Don't do clown. Yeah, rain on jive. Rain on jive. Yeah, don't do clown. Yeah, okay. Don't do clown. Yeah, okay. Don't do clown. Yeah, rain on jive. Rain on jive.
Shabba, right? Tribe Cartel, little Bob Cartel flights. No, sell secretly of Jamaican circumstances. Got buttercream, jawline, butt cream, $1.50 from side to side. Get a McDonald's size smiley face that you ain't smiling, but the doctor had to put it there like stitches. You know what I'm saying? Don't cross boundaries. Nobody boy and me. Oh, sad. We're gonna get into some emotional intelligence. Real emotional intelligence. You know what I'm saying? To understand the synchronicities in the sky and the energies is all gonna put us in. And we're gonna break down the houses to see what area of life you're gonna be experiencing all of this flunked out, everybody different. So even though if you got the same water houses, just in different modalities, you know what I'm saying? Like you might got a Pisces placement house where another person may have a Scorpio placement house. We're going to break down all these houses, but it's going to be planned out for you differently due to the fact that the planets is not sharing. So they're trying to So your Scorpio house gonna have different planets there than a person who got that same house, but they got Pisces there. So they're gonna have either Neptune there. So for the most part, it's gonna be played out a little differently than you, based upon how things circumstances are. But due to the fact that we're all focused on emotional intelligence, it's gonna be the same template, same character, just different patterns, different circumstances. Your life, my life, your monkey's grandfather life, your somebody left the cage zoo door open too long, mother's life, and all that type of energy. Everybody's life that, you know what I'm saying? We don't know how it came together in certain ways, how you got here. In reality, like, you know, we know spiritually, but the reality version of it, you know what I'm saying? We still got movies like Jurassic Park. You know what I'm saying? We still got movies like Jumanji. So every now and then, you know, the Masons show us like, oh, okay, this where this person came from a little. Yeah, I say a little bit. Just a little bit. Sad, thank God for the TLC channel, the sci-fi channel. Cause some of y'all wouldn't even have a foggy, mere imagination clue who you be waking up next to. I said, what kind of family you was born into? I said, everybody come like, just cause, you know, y'all on physical bone, flesh share same similar brains, y'all think y'all family. That don't mean y'all came from the same spiritual circumstances and same accumulation, same foundation, all the way to points of people being here. You know what I'm saying? The way two people came together to fuck. It's the PBS channel, but you know, two people to Trump. That's what I said, YouTube, Trump. And they came together in miscellaneous ways. So, you know, like, you know, your ancestors, Smack Monkey Grandma and stuff like that, the way they came together might have been in different ways where they might not even been totally human. One person might not have had a left kneecap. You know what I'm saying? One person might have had 2 fingers. You know, they might have been at a normal time where that was normal. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta really think about it. So next time you know what you looking at when you see your cousins. You know what I'm saying? Next time you know what you looking at, you know what I'm saying, when you go to work. Next time you know what you looking at, you know what I'm saying, when you leave school or something like that. Now you know, all right, damn, we not all human like that. Now you know. Now you know how to compare and contrast from the equilibrium perspective. Just because we ain't all human don't mean that we ain't low butt muncher, Abraham bosom creature looking, y'all smack monkey praying mantis in the face. Oh, y'all saying everybody could be like a special type of new type of not human without the ED word after it. You know what I'm saying? Like real stuff, like you really start thinking clearly. Like, yeah, some people Bigfoot, swamp things, and stuff like melted cotton ball, marshmallow necks, and stuff. Then other people glorified angelic creatures and stuff like that. And stuff nobody known with like 18 eyeballs on it, stuff like a fire wheel or something. Like nobody never know. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you want to make sure you in that kind of perspective where you thinking from equilibrium, because you don't want to get stuck to no thoughts. Even if you want to proclaim to be human, that's you. The human is just having an experience. You tired of having this one. So that's about time for you to start proclaiming something else, right? You know what I'm saying? Or you gonna get stuck in them rooted desire. A lot of them are the spring piggyback original thought forms of thinking you human. A lot of your flunked out circumstances and situations, they come from like the first original piggyback flunked out thoughts that original start point in the tent, like springed off that seed, start to water it. It was like a tree that grew, fruit came off of it. Nobody wanted. So not even you when you look in the mirror and stuff like that. So you gotta think about that too. It's like, okay, I see what's going on. Me accepting the generational curse called human thought. You know what I'm saying? Let me go ahead and change that, transmute that, get another thought for you, and then you good to go. You know what I'm saying? So you're like, okay, I made a mistake. So even though a lot of smack monkey masons and stuff called this body human, you know, I don't necessarily got to proclaim that this time because I was many forms. I'm gonna, ooh, look at this spider. Get your ass out of here. Did I get him? Did I get him? Yeah, I got him. Got his ass. I'll say, y'all gonna wait till I go live to kind of clown. I've been down here doing music. You know what I'm saying? All day. You wanna wait till I'm about to go live. Just like this phone. I didn't set up the whole thing. Now I got a freestyle. I had it all lined up, the alignments and stuff like that. It wanna call itself just shutting off and not saving on the notepad. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of weird stuff going on right now that I'm trying not to let affect me. And that was an energy coming from the phone. And doubt, despite, you know, let me not get into all that. There's some weird, I'm getting attacked right now. There's other spirits attacking me. So let me chill out. Let me not feed the demons. Let me not feed the demons. I got him, though. I got him. You don't get to climb down and try to be a main character in one of my goddamn live streams or something like that. I'm the only Spider-Man right now. You know what I'm saying? You don't wait till I be like Flight Spidey one day and then now you want to come down a live stream. We ain't seen no spider come down in months. So I've been sitting here, man. You could have got killed earlier before the live stream. You could have slid down while I'm sitting here making music. You know what I'm saying? Walking back and forth to the microphone. You could have slid down then. You gonna wait till I'm in the middle of live stream, going extra pilot mode with Spidey. You know what I'm saying? And you want to come actually be a spider and get killed in the middle of live. That was your fault. It was your fault. Thanks so much for the donation, Peter. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Real stuff. You said emotional intelligence is key, all aspects. Real stuff. It ain't all aspects, but it's the part for the divine feminine for us to understand. And when it comes to divine masculine, you gotta get rid of that. You know what I'm saying? Because divine masculine, you gotta have that intelligence. But then divine feminine, then we had that intelligence. Then that make us all equilibrium and stuff like that. So since everything in reverse, spirits that's in female bodies up there, they masculine. So when they come down here, they're in a feminine body. So they probably was like a man before. So everything that they built, they want somebody to do it for them now. So for the most part, they have to learn what they in, emotional intelligence, and sometimes they don't know how to deal with it. So they get all chaos and create chaos. Then, as above, so below is in reverse. The spirit that sometimes come in a man body most of the time, is a spirit, resonate with the feminine energy up there. So come down here to masculine body, here to nurture and build and create the physical forms of wombs and mental concepts and structures and formaments for people to be in, to feel comfortable with and stuff like that. But then sometimes we feel like, damn, we got to build everything and everything is on our back and stuff like that. And then sometimes that we don't know how to handle all the divine masculine that we got to learn that we didn't do in the last lifetime. So really low-key in a nutshell, depending on how many reincarnations you got, and a lot of y'all got a lot in the human body. You know what I'm saying? If you a spirit in a female body, last time you was a man. If you a spirit in a man body, last time you was a female. So that's like the attraction you have. You got the attraction to the form you used to be. You know what I'm saying? And you got to learn how to deal with the form you in right now. So you don't know how to be a man like that. Or you don't know how to be a woman like that. You learn it. You was already a man if you're a woman right now. So you want everybody to be built for you now. And you was already a woman if you're a man now. So it's like now you gotta build some shit. Everybody can't build stuff for you. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff. Thank you so much for the donation, Peter. All real. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Real stuff. So a lot of times when we dive deep into it, you might be in a man body at the moment and be like, I'm glad I ain't a female. And you might be in a female body right now and be like, I'm glad I ain't a man. But then you get into your deep energies when you're alone. And then if you're a female, you start thinking of things of why you wish you was a man or something like that. And then if you're a man, you start thinking of things of why I can't understand emotion females or something like that. How can I attract? And then that's both that's both spirits in a space of missing the other energy that they was in previously. I'm saying some way, shape, or form. I'm saying. So if you depending on what you want to do right now, you have to learn some type of form of equilibrium. You don't even have to take a particle inside one of these waves. You could be something an androgynous form, but it'll still be a masculine, feminine the way you relate in that life form. But that's like being an atmosphere where you got masculine and feminine forms. You are in control of the vibe, the atmosphere, without actually being in one of those particles, like a bug, an insect, a tree, a human. You know what I'm saying? You the clouds, the wind, all of that is your body. Could take a bigger type of body. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't really masculine, feminine, and that type of attribute in that area when you in that type of life aspect. What's going on here, YouTube? All right, we 12 minutes in though. So all right, we about to get into these energies. We started talking about this because I'm throwing this because this phone don't even work anymore anyway. I gave all my other phones to my daughter, so this is throwing this phone away too. All I need is the 2 new phones anyway. So the phones ain't on or shit. So they so dated. They don't even save on notepads no more. Now, for the most part, well, at least the last one, this one. Now, check this out. We got the sun in Scorpio. We got the moon in Cancer. So, for the most part, we're going to be reacting and responding in a deep way when it comes to our emotional comfortability. So, right now, we're going to be in search for some form of comfortability, some form of familiarity, some form of Privacy, 4th house, or secrecy, 8th house, where it's something we can accumulate behind closed doors. Whether the secrecy is something positive or negative. If it's something positive, it's something that you don't want nobody to see until you got it all together. You know what I'm saying? So you don't put your foot in your mouth, then you got people expecting something from you, and then you have to let them down and feel guilty and hide from people. Because you ain't manifest everything you was talking big shit about. You know what I'm saying? And then privacy. Something you want to conduct behind closed doors to develop your comfortability. Oh, hold on, but leaving off, finishing on the 8th house. You could be doing some in secret negative and things of that nature, where things that you won't never want to express with people beyond, whether you're manipulating people or however the case you're getting rocking people to sleep. And that could be an energy also that's dealing with the 8th house or a secret if you're on the lower octave end of it. Then the 4th house deals with privacy, right? So 12th house dreams, 8th house secrets, 4th house privacy, not the spookism aspects of it. So 4th house is how you try to obtain privacy in some way, shape, or form. Whether you know how to obtain emotional security even when you're around others and still be able to obtain privacy, or whether you're in some type of circumstances where you feel smothered and can't do a lot of things because you don't have no privacy. And a lot of times when you truly want to do something but you can't do it because you don't have no privacy, 9 times out of 10 you're not a strong spirit anyway, because if it's something you really want to do, you will make other people respect it whether they like it or not, to the point that your time and your energy would still have boundaries around it, where you would still create scenarios that you would still be able to feel comfortable doing what you do regardless who around. You know what I'm saying? And it'd be that much better if they wasn't, but you would see possibilities of that being more on a percentage scale than you never having privacy. You see what I'm saying? So everything that's manifested from that could be things like family, home, you know what I'm saying, security, domestic issues, you know what I'm saying, things that you have experienced with other individuals, so y'all have shared privacy together and stuff like that. So all those type of energies could kind of correlate with how people may break down the 4th house. But in a nutshell, before we even get into the houses, just breaking down the energies themselves, with the sun being in Scorpio and the moon being in Cancer. We're going to be reacting and responding to some form of comfort zone, reacting and responding, moon, to some form of comfort zone or familiarity, Cancer. That could be deep or deep connection, or something that could match our energy when it comes to going for our passions, motivations, and our desires, or our sexual energies, or things that we want to combine when it comes to sexual energy with the mind. Just joining 2 energies or multiple energies to create another one that we can bring down and accumulate some that can manifest our passions and our desires, aka Scorpio. So, whatever we got to transform or transmute or take control over and things of that nature will be those aspects that we will take action on and try to develop the comfortability behind to do it. So we might try to need some familiar object, person, place, or thing to build the comfortability, aka moon and Cancer, to be able to go for our deep passions and things of that nature that we're willing to transform. Or we may feel like we're going to be in some type of fear, vulnerability, or some compromising scenario if that's not done. So that's the only way how to try and can play out negative. So try not to put all your eggs or leaning in support on someone else for them to be around you, to build some type of courage for you to transform something you already supposed to transform yourself. You know what I'm saying? You can't expect someone to point you in a direction or force you to transform something that you already supposed to have power control over yourself. That's like trying to get hired at a job or wanting to quit a job, and you need a family member, friend, or an associate or a co-worker to encourage you. So you in foggy thought, but your spirit is telling you to quit, or your spirit is telling you to call that job to get hired, whatever the spectrum you're on. But you sitting around like, oh, I know my spirit see this. Oh, I just seen this angel number. But let me wait till this coworker say something, or let me wait till this family member say something, and one of their experience, and boom, that like that, you get thrown out. But that's how Cancer, Moon, and Sun and Scorpio can play out, where sometimes on a negative end, because everything has a yin and yang. On a lower, if you're a lower octave spirit, you'll play the negative end of a trend. You will have a gift of self-sabotaging, procrastinating, because you need that energy I'm explaining first. You need someone you're familiar with, or someone who could play out a familiar energy, even if they're a new person or a stranger, but the way they express themselves remind you of something your mother did, or a family, or someone you close to, like a friend. You need some type of comfort zone. Oh, pardon me. Some type of comfort zone or familiarity for you to have that emotional support and intelligence, aka the moon sign, for you to even feel like, oh, this is a gift now for me to go for my passion and act on it. Sun and Scorpio right now. So be careful of that. And it gets even harder if you got a sun, moon, or ascendant in a cardinal position, like Capricorn, Aries, or Libra. You know what I'm saying? Because Capricorn is opposite and Aries and Libra is square. So Aries and Libras have to learn how to modify their energy in a more comfortable, familiar way, so they're not expressing some energy that's just too unfamiliar to an individual, even if it's someone that they're familiar with. This new communication that they're trying to initiate, Libra, or just this new action that they're trying to lead, or creativity that they're trying to express as their new self, Aries, may not be in a familiar light to even someone you're familiar with, that you knew for years or whatever, or family or whoever, aka moon and Cancer. And then that square energy gonna come in to the point that you're not modifying your cardinal energy with the cardinal energy in the sky, and you're gonna meet the 90-degree sword energy of, or square or pinnacle, placing yourself in a situation of a downfall or octave event, other than a better scenario that you can lead yourself into a prosperous situation. And then the opposite energy is Capricorn. So what you may feel comfortable with your natural chakras, if you're not into astrology or things of that nature, you're going to make a decision based upon your own alignment, which is your alignment is not aligning in the sky with the moon. So for the most part, whether it's your sun, moon, or ascendant, action, reaction, or your personality, or what you're personally into, or what you're getting ready to personally experience with other signs, whether they're that sign or not, right, is going to be totally in the opposite type of circumstance than what you made a decision in your mind and think that you're comfortable with. So whatever you made a decision with to make yourself feel comfortable is the opposite element and energy of what's needed to be aligned with, aka you're misaligned, start not aligning. And for the most part, here's where you're not tempering your energy, and you're going to meet opposite positions in your life, or meet things that's against you, or things that's not going in your favor, due to the fact of not adding that emotional support, trying to make everything more business than personal, more serious than compassion in some way, shape, or form, even when you're at work. And that might be a time that things needed there for things to run through smoothly, and even in a practical way. But you might not see it that way during this particular time. Feel like your comfortable energy worked in other times where it wasn't the moon and Cancer in the sky. Think it might work this time. You not being in astrology, you're going to meet the opposite energy because the stars ain't in line this time. Moon and Cancer, opposite to your solar plexus, moon, or your ascendant being a Capricorn. See what I'm saying? Now, I cut the back of my lip with the goddamn straw earlier. Little one though. Now, peep game. You know what I'm saying? So, understanding these energies, you know what I'm saying? You know how to modify. So, you're not sitting around thinking manifesting got something to do with materializing. So, you're not sitting around with the template of the original thought frame, because the original intent is the most important. When you're listening to people like me thinking that, oh, anytime there's something negative, or the stars don't align, or I don't see no angel number or something like that, that means this is a time not to do something. No. It's always, you're going to do what you're going to do anyway, but it ain't what you do, it's how you do it. And take that into every mechanism of life. Even when you're listening to a person like me, break it down the esoteric alchemy of astrology right now, how to use it in your life. If you know the stars don't align for you, preferably if you got the sun, moon, or ascendant in Capricorn, Aries, or Libra at this moment, it's not telling you. And you know, when you're listening to me, I'm not telling you, because it can sound like that. So I'm wise. So, you know, if you know better, you do better. So it's important for me to tell you this, so you don't, if you're anyone listening in that type of light, won't get the wrong idea, and then they got a star that don't align, one of their chakras that don't align in the sky, and then they think this is a time not to do something. It's never a time not to do something, and you're never supposed to wait around thinking that you got to wait on a perfect time. It's always the right time when you pick the time to do it. Always remember that. You know what I'm saying? And if you do pick a time to not do something, it's because you're already basking in your fruits of your labor that you have already accumulated, even getting into the mechanism that I break down as the alchemist of the pendulum shifts of the moon. You know what I'm saying? When the moon is waxing, it's time for you to put in energy. When the moon is waning, it's time for you to protect what you have accumulated when the moon was waxing. Put energy work in. So for the most part, utilize this in all mechanisms and stuff like that. So it's not telling you to not go to work. It's not telling you to not go for that goal. It's not telling you to not go for that love interest. It's not telling you to not go for that creative attribute. It's telling you might need to modify it and adjust it. And these are the possibilities of the results that could be an outcome. And therefore, you know, you could have more on a lower percentage scale, well, more on a higher percentage scale of negative outcomes, being a square or opposition Capricorn, or being a square Libra or Aries right now. But so it's telling you not to not do something. It's telling you to still do something, but just know what to be aware of. Capricorn, you know you can meet opposite positions. Libras and Aries, you know you can meet frustrations. So if you're already aware of it, you know how to adjust it to make that percentage level much lower on meeting resistance, meeting frustration. And therefore, you know that you might have to meet resistance, but when you're going through it, you know not to take it as or let it affect you as much as the average individual because you know what's going on. And it might just be an attribute you need to add to your spaceship to make you go more in the distance of your goals in the first place. Therefore, your mind is always in a better place than in a place of always have to accumulate thoughts and feelings of self-doubt and stuff like that only manifests you to be right, but really you manifested a situation for people to look at you like that. But you in your mind be thinking you just right. Oh, I am not that good. Or I shouldn't be trying to do something. But you're actually manifesting situations in your life. It's not that. It's really not the truth. You got to understand that the mind matrix, the mind magic. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to point you to actions to take, not point you to waiting around for the external world to show you what actions to take. It's going to show you what actions you need to take. And when you do that, this is where you truly understand from a purest perspective of what I be saying, putting energy in inanimate objects, because you start to look at everything as an inanimate object, even your scenarios, your situations, and stuff like that. And the negative situations you put positive energy in that inanimate object, and it changed the scenario. So therefore, you know how to stop things at an instant before you start to have your mind go down a street in Babylon that just lead to a whole bunch of negative stuff. Now, also we got the moon, Trine, and Mercury. So with the moon, Trine, and Mercury, we got this gift. Now, it could be a positive or a negative one, depending on how you're using it. We got this gift, right? So for the most part, we can react and respond to our thoughts. They're at the same house, like child running around, young child, Mercury running around, but on the same page, not even doing things that the mother may look at as negative. The mother is the moon, our emotional intelligence. So it's not an actual mother, but it's how we look at the original one of a kind energy that manifests to all the different shapes and forms that can play out motherly roles. So we all got feminine energies. And, you know, the first mother was a man. So keep that in mind too. You know what I'm saying? You're probably saying, hold on, that don't make sense. But if you watch my channel, you know this esoteric. We're not talking about reality. You know, when we're creating terms, we're talking about experiences. So, you know, even in the ancient text, man is considered the mind. And the mind is considered the womb. And the womb is something that can be pregnant. And it could condense and become flesh and give birth to things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So the first mother was a man, not y'all male and female way of looking at things. I'm talking about it from an esoteric perspective. You know what I'm saying? Where we're not talking about male or females. We're talking about energies in the world. You know what I'm saying? The first container, replace container with woman or divine feminine or receiving or something that can hold. You know what I'm saying? The first container was a man, a thought, an idea, a cloud. That was the first thing that could console, hold on to something. And the first thing that was inside it was you, your spirit, being aware of what you created outside of you that simultaneously you inside of now. You see what I'm saying? So this is how we give birth to ourselves, but it's a simultaneous masculine feminine where we ain't got no other. I ain't got no words to explain. I should be giving these things other words. I got words for them. Y'all just not ready for yet. Because you'll stay lost in thoughts. These words is like spaceships and GPSs to take you down directions. So just using these words is still taking you away from the area I need you to go, where you know the real waterfront is at, and the baseline of the first pillars that hold the first gate, the heaven gate, the pearly gates. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, like you don't want to be so much in so many distractions down here as a spirit and get took out of that water so fast, like a fishy, and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Because that'll be like a spirit that's in a broader form, like me in that reality. So I'm like a land creature in that kind of water, and a more condensed water where your mind is swimming in like a fish. You a spirit inside of it. You might be in deep waters. So when we all plan out in this body, you you may be unaware of what's going on in the spiritual world. And then I might take your fishy body, your mind body, out of those deep waters you was in, and you will start wiggling around because you can't breathe in that type of lighter density water, which would be a version of air there. And then all your thoughts and feelings and inflate. Like it'd be hard for you to grasp for it. Then that'll manifest into the 1, 2, or third dimension as you manifest in a situation like an accident, you dying, you getting killed, or something like that. Wrong place, wrong time, extreme depressed. So like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta be careful when you're floating around in the spirit world and stuff like that, and waking people up in different awarenesses that they haven't developed for themselves yet. Because once you bring a spirit to the ocean, they can't make their own cup. It won't even never play out positive, and you might be looked at as negative just for doing it. Because the spirit is like, it's gotta expand, gotta grow up, you know what I'm saying, to even fit that form. But if the spirit's still only in the size of a smaller form that it can fit, that's the only level of comprehension, wisdom, knowledge, and intellect it can develop at the moment. So it sometimes that's like a spiritual crime to take a fishy out the water too fast. Now, Moon trine Mars. So we got this gift to react and respond to our passions, motivations, and our desires also. So we want to make sure we're not doing it in a manipulating way because the moon is in Scorpio. Mars is in Scorpio. We may have this type of emotional intelligence where we're able to manipulate a situation. And we may have that gift to do it. But deep down, you'll know if you're doing something negative or not. So you want to be careful of that too. Make sure you're doing everything from a pure intent. Yeah, this is going crazy. I don't even stay on the notepad. Moon trine Neptune also. We're also going to be, we got this gift to react and respond to our dreams, our imaginations, and our fantasies and stuff like that, but also our faiths, beliefs, and imagination. So you may find yourself going a lot more deeper into your faith scenarios, especially if you're religious. You might can't see nothing else but religion during this particular time. Anybody talk against it, and that's not just religion, anything spiritual. You know what I'm saying? Like, I might be in some energy where I don't want to hear nobody talk against nothing, or my soul group or nothing like that. Y'all might be in energy where whoever y'all watch online, y'all don't want to hear nobody around y'all talking negative about it or something like that. Or you might just want to do it around by yourself in secret. You know what I'm saying? It's like this, we all need, it's like mind regulating and soul fixing energy right now, where these things is being used for our deepness right now, other than just being entertained or wanting to put somebody else on or how we normally be in it. Right now, we actually need these things for specific emotions or thoughts or actual actions right now. We're deep into this like right now. So especially if you into spiritual stuff. So you kind of really more want to do it by yourself. Even for, as an example, let's say you got a partner or something like that, or you be around people and you normally wouldn't matter watching people online or watching me and stuff like that, but now it's like you more on it like, nah, let me watch this by myself, because I don't need no other war fart clouds going on right now while I'm trying to understand something and stuff like that. And you might even find yourself getting into a lot of other stuff you wasn't normally getting into online and stuff, to try to figure stuff out, to try to add to whatever you got going on and stuff. Like, you're getting into everything more deeper than you usually got into it. To see if it can develop in your passions or your motivations or your desires. Then we got Moon sextile and Venus and Virgo. So with Moon, let me. I don't know why does keep doing that. Moon sextile and Venus and Virgo. So we also gonna have this opportunity to take our emotional stability and gain more comfortability with attacking love matters right now. And even though Venus is debilitated, we still may do it in a negative way. We have a more comfortable way of doing it. Or let's say you're in a negative scenario where you're not even in a position that you really care for at the moment when it comes to your love. Or you might not ever have anything. You may have a lack of these things right now when it comes to love, appreciation, value, relatability, or compromising, and things of that nature with a person, place, or thing. So you can't even do things, overcompensate or overcompromise in your pleasures, and don't do it in moderation and stuff like that. Even if you tried, you probably don't got no access to it and stuff like that. You're probably going to develop some type of emotional comfortability of satisfaction somewhere in that area right now, though. You know what I'm saying? You might try to be like, well, okay, I'm cool with this. I'm cool with how things is right here. So that's like the energy of the sextile that, you know, the moon going to be able to help out with the debilitation energy of Virgo, because you know the moon rules Cancer too, so it's giving support, maternal support to Venus and Virgo. So the things you was frustrated about when it comes to your love matters, you may find some type of satisfaction or comfort zone or familiarity to kind of take you out that distraction, during this particular time. You know what I'm saying? Also, it went off again. Also, Moon sextile Lilith, in Virgo. So we may have these opportunities too of feeling like we may be embarrassed when it comes to the things that we are worrying about or stressed out about, or things that we're working on at the moment, or even when it comes to our responsibilities. We might be embarrassed because of our responsibilities we developed in some way, shape, or form. And based upon Lilith sharing energies with Venus, us gaining that emotional stability with Venus about, all right, well, it's like this, even if it's not so good. With Lilith, we might look at it like and add that energy with Virgo, like, yeah, if I was to participate, I'd be embarrassed about something anyway. And that's how we chalk it up. We might chalk it up like, oh, I'd be vulnerable anyway, or it won't work anyway. And that might not even be the case. But that's the type of mental form fart cloud we had developed with that as above transit. You know what I'm saying? So be aware of that too, because you might got something good in front of you, like a job, person, place, or thing, or opportunity, or another way to deal with your responsibilities, whether that's an object, little people like kids, or however the case may be. And you may be looking at it in a negative way and passing up on other things of that nature due to the fact of this fart cloud that we can develop because of this energy that we in. So be careful of that too. Virgo tends to make things a little bit more serious than it necessarily needs to be. You might find yourself even writing on a calendar when you're going to do something that has to do with love matters or something like that, like something stupid. You know what I'm saying? That already destroyed it. That already created some energy of negative feedback or something like that, or more distance between from point A to point B of reaching that goal or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Where it's not saying the goal is unreachable or you're making it more impossible, but you is going to be making it take longer for you to reach that obligation, or you might destroy it with a self-sabotaging situation because of how you're participating with it. So you got to be careful of that too. Now also, damn, it went off again. Then we got Moon sextiling Uranus. Ooh, that felt good. Moon sextiling Uranus and Taurus, and Jupiter. You know what I'm saying? Uranus and Jupiter and Taurus. So for the most part, this puts us in a it's sextiling. Ooh, I didn't mean to say opposing. Did I say opposing? This thing just keep flashing. It's throwing me off. Yeah, but Moon sextiling Jupiter and Uranus. If I didn't say that before, you know what I'm saying? Kind of got me distracted. So I think I'm gonna cut it off and just go ahead and totally freestyle. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, when we start talking about this opportunity that we have, this is a 60-degree angle when it comes to going through experiences and gaining emotional support to willing to be the fool at the moment. And being a fool at the moment can lead you into, a lot of money or a lot of security, stability, support, safety, shelter, due to the fact of Jupiter. Jupiter is our experiences, and it's Taurus. It's in Taurus. So our experiences right now is more predicated on stability, security, what makes sense, practicalizing things, what's reality, and that could formulate into material and money also, and maternal circumstances, things to nurture, things to take care of. But being extremely rational also. So anything that we'll probably even see online that don't make sense, everybody is able to spot it real quick if you experience it, if you witness it. You know what I'm saying? That's how I was able to see. Well, I ain't gonna say that's how, but since I'm sensitive to the energies, I'm able to see what's going on. But other people who was unaware of that before is able to see things more rational when it comes to things we see online, like these relationship skits, specifically on TikTok and stuff like that. We got one homeboy, he done made a whole career out of the fake skit, the Cheesesteak Factory and stuff, where he trying to turn into a guru or a manosphere guru or whatever like that. And just looking at homeboy, I would never take no advice from homeboy. You know what I'm saying? So like this let you know that it was all fake from the jump. Like I said, everything I say come to be. You know what I'm saying? When I say it, it's crazy because I'm the little old Aries and I'm Uriel and Terry's moon. So but at the same time, it take a few months or a few weeks for y'all to start hearing it out of everybody else's mouth. Just like y'all about to start hearing now. Jada Pinkett and Will Smith, they were doing a lot of things together beyond me planting that seed in y'all mind, telling y'all that Will Smith actually was mad because he wasn't in or was around when August Alsina was hitting Jada Pinkett and Jaden Smith. And he was once upon a time hitting Will Smith too. There was all, you know what I'm saying? I even got that in my raps. I made a song off the rip, or I think it's off the rip or something like that. Like 3 months before y'all seeing Kodak Black phase. I just seen that was his spirit. I didn't know it was actually that deep behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying? And when I said when I was saying they taking fentanyl, like you look like just like Kodak Black in the face. You know what I'm saying? To Tiny and T.I. having the Bill Cosby spirit, I called it. I just seen T.I. I just seen T.I. having a Bill Cosby sweatsuit like 3 weeks before that time, and then 3 weeks later, him and Tiny caught that Bill Cosby case. I'm like, damn good. You know what I'm saying? Like I could make mad live streams on just pointing out prophecies and stuff like that, just reading the energies in the world. But at the same time, it'd be crazy, like for real. I swear, just a few days ago, I said like I might die or whatever like that. Well, you know, I always be talking stuff when I'm sick and stuff like that. Then I jumped on live and I said, yeah, anybody who in the conscious community die, I never talk about them or nothing like that because I know they ain't gonna talk about me. Didn't Brother Panic just turn around, just die? It's like, dang, this is crazy. Like I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. I'm gonna go ahead and just keep my I ain't gonna speak about nothing when I see fart clouds. When I see fart clouds, I'm gonna go ahead and just keep my mouth shut from now on until the Masons start giving me billions of dollars for my mind. And other than that, man, I'll keep my mind to myself. Just for the shadow government to copy all the time behind closed doors. I ain't got time for all that. I ain't got time for all that. You know what I'm saying? But I see it. I be seeing everything before it comes. It's crazy. But getting into these energies, like I said, we got it's Scorpio time. Everything is coming to the dark, to the light. And then Sagittarius, we're gonna be in the light, but have to learn how to deal with it. So that's gonna be developing wisdom. You know what I'm saying? You getting either closer or more further away from whatever religious concept you was in or spiritual system. You know what I'm saying? All these different type of, and then when we get into Capricorn, that's for you to solidify yourself and get ready for the motherfucking new transit, new circumstance. You know what I'm saying? As we get into the little buttercream leftovers and stuff of Aquarius and Pisces of the winter season, and then boom, you're supposed to be like a whole brand new egg that you get ready to hatch, or a whole brand new caterpillar that becomes a whole new colorful butterfly nobody's seen before, one of a kind, new shades and colors and chakras and emanations and stuff. What a wonderful time to be alive. Oh, that. Now also, so like I said, with these sextiles, right? We got the moon in Cancer, and it's going to be sextiling Taurus and Jupiter. So we're going to be gaining this emotional comfortability, this emphasis right there with the moon being in its home. And, you know, it's exalted in Taurus. So, you know, since Uranus there, even though Uranus is in a 90-degree angle away from where it likes to be at, just being in Taurus. So the things that we're changing is like things in our life that we wouldn't necessarily be looking at that we need to change. And since the shadow government is in that same position, they're changing those same things from a broader perspective because they run the world. So the things that you was doing to survive, those things is changing. So there's things you have to change that you wouldn't normally have to change anyway. Just for the simple fact of having to gain with the rationality of the world right now when it comes to material and maternal. So, you know, once upon a time, you weren't really that invested into debit cards and credit cards. You is now. Once upon a time, you weren't really invested into cell phones and stuff. You was more invested in house phones and stuff than you is now. Once upon a time, you was more invested into that flat screen or something like that, and DVDs and VHSs and stuff and cassettes. And you ain't no more now. They got Netflix and Hulu. So you see what I'm saying? And they got endless of stuff now, all kind of stuff now. So like, just telling you that shadow government don't know what to do, so it's a free fall. So right now, you could just get rich in any kind of way. You could come up with an app like a Netflix, and then have certain shows or content from other apps and stuff like that that people can't put on there, and movies and stuff from Netflix and stuff that got deleted off there, and get rich off that. Like it's like this all kind of little dumb stuff that I be seeing and stuff. Then I be in all kind of stuff that I'm gonna keep behind keep my mouth closed. You know what I'm saying? Because what y'all think, what I do on it's endless stuff online. Look, I've been online forever. You know what I'm saying? So the tricks and the things to do that put in certain things that Google pays cents for and stuff like that. Man, that's endless. That's endless right now. The shadow government don't even know how to capitalize off all that right now. You just have to learn how to like get yourself in that loopy loop system and just capitalize off of it. I'm saying make money off pictures, all kind of stuff, or off anything, energy, intellectual property, concept, the things that when you look at the metrics that built online, all you have to do is participate with that. So when you see what everybody getting online, so what they say, like, okay, they say like small people talk about other people, mid-sized people talk about events, broad spirits talk about creating events and stuff like that. So you got to look at it like that. Once a spirit already created a broad event themselves, then it trickled down to the little people, and to the mid-sized people, and they talk about events. They're like the promoters. And then it get trickled down to the small people. They just talk about people. So let's make that make sense right now. This is an example of that. It'll be some broad spirits that sat around and made up Instagram. It'd be the mid spirits that sat around and promoted Instagram. Like, Instagram could be used for this. Instagram can be used for that. So these are people getting a little bit of the loaf, is this crumbs, but they knew how to use Instagram right. So these are the mid people. They talk about events, but they didn't create the events. So these are the shakers, though. You know what I'm saying? But they could have did it much better if they was the event planner, though. You know what I'm saying? But the people who work the event, work the curtains and stuff like that, they get paid good too, though. You know what I'm saying? Because they knew how to work the thing good, but they didn't create the thing itself, the ceremony, the lecture itself, the Instagram itself. So the people who created Instagram itself, they made the event. The people who the shakers talking about the event, going to promote the event and stuff like that. Then the small people just talk about people. The people who go to the event and talk about the person in the front row. Ooh, they got a hole in their sock. Talk about Miss Sally in the front church row seat. She got a hole in her stocking and stuff like that. Y'all get it? So that's how you make it simple. So when you jumping online, take that beyond Instagram. It could be a new app, new something, new concept. Even how they made these like dating apps. Even though I'm a content creator, I'm a teacher, it's my angle to be in an algorithm to talk against it. But people who's in that algorithm, who's not a teacher, that's an actually good idea. Because they sat around and was like, oh, this the metrics, statistics right now. This is what everybody talking about right now. Oh, we can make up a false sense right now, get our acting and actress and on and stuff like that. That's actually, the motherfuckers come up real quick. Now, what you do with the money and how you maintain, and if you could get intelligent to keep it going, that's a different story. But a quick come up real quick, boom, it's there. So in that aspect, in that respect right there, that's an intelligent idea right now based upon the type of world we in right now. You see what I'm saying? So don't limit yourself. Even when you get on my channel and I make spirituality a mission, but it's my thing. Spiritual mission is my thing. But we separate spirituality from that. Spirituality is just individuality. It's anytime you're in a position and you can't expand. So you always want to transform, transmute, go into another form, go into another butterfly. So as the spirit, you're supposed to make something more possible than the limited possibilities that's in it. Demonic expectations, limited possibilities. When you come with a new ability, a new idea, a new gift or talent, a new way to attack a situation, a new angel, a new way, a new demon, a new de-evolved way, fighting fire with fire to get out of a previous circumstance that you have outgrown, then that becomes your spiritual journey. And then your spiritual journey always going to have others who walked a similar path in their own way. And then that becomes a teamwork makes the dream work circumstance. But when you come up with your own, fighting your own demons and things of that nature, you end up finding better ways to present that because you're no longer fighting that. So you have time to teach, to express that to others. And your teaching is just your actions. You know what I'm saying? And you can act on wording like being a teacher, but you still have to act on certain things to be seen in that light. So your actions speak louder than words. And for the most part, that's how you know something written on your heart. And then that's when you're not trying to use something as a form of guilt, as a form of ego. right? Where your actions is speaking for your ego. So your vulnerability is actually becoming your ego. Where before you even have to speak, someone will speak for you. Or sometimes your energy speaks for itself. You see what I'm saying? You a cold, bad mamma jamma when your energy can speak for itself. Because you don't even got to express your boundaries. People just won't cross it. You know what I'm saying? That's when you know you work for God. You got some kind of godly boundary around you. You know what I'm saying? You're different. And no matter what's the, and then when you dive into the world, you're here to change everything. So when you jump into these statistics, you the divine masculine and the divine feminine. When you participate, when it comes to you, you different. All the way to the point you probably could have did some the most negative thing in the world. But you got more grace than others. So when you go to jail, you different though. You know what I'm saying? So everybody wish they was next door to your jail cell. Because the stuff you be talking about and stuff like that is stuff people want to hear. To the biggest, baddest person who got life in jail, they will probably become your protector, your security guard or something for you to keep being in a position for you could keep having that whatever's coming out of your mouth from God. You know what I'm saying? That's how that works. Or will be no such thing as people at jails and in the jail and COs be hiring motivational speakers to come. You supposed to be that person in jail like, nah, we don't need them to come. I know how to come to these people because I'm here with them. I'm amongst the dopes. I'm amongst the wines. And God put me in a position to bring equilibrium and balance here, where amongst the people who fighting, they won't lift a finger towards me, or God give me the strength that I can beat them down. And to the little people, God gave me the authority to not use authority energies around them and bring the equal. So I'm the representation that can speak here. You see what I'm saying? Then you get all that money. You get all that stuff. Not Joel Osteen, not Creflo Dollar. I'll say you get all that. And they might shorten your time in jail. You know what I'm saying? You don't let nobody take your energies when you got a message for God. I don't care where you at, what point of part you at in your life. God does you don't need to get lost in the thoughts and feelings and stuff like that. Become dry to that and do what God needs you to do, and then whatever thoughts and feelings God give you, that's the ones you need to be supporting. Because they're only them ones is lighter. So you jump in that spaceship as a spirit, them lighter bubbles make you think and feel. Them more thoughts and feelings that's more uplifted. So you would think and feel more uplifted being inside of those experiences as a spirit. Not them heavy ones and dragging down and you ain't got nothing to say unless it's something negative. That might bring more people to jail. You know what I'm saying? Or hell. So that's the mind metaphysics. And then if you stay in that space, this is where manifesting come, ability, not the spookism of it. Where manifesting give you the ability where it manifests as a material. Something you could do with your material body, an idea, a creative gift that can get you up out of that situation. That can get you $1 million or whatever like that. So that's how it's supposed to be talked about. You know what I'm saying? Where it's talked about as reality, not la la land stuff. You'll be somewhere procrastinating. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we have to talk about it like a pseudo, but it ain't. You just have to have the right words to say it. That's why, thank God, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? So it is you magical thinking. It is you thinking with consonant dissonance. It is you faking it till you make it. But not living in reverse, how I teach y'all. Faking it till you make it in the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension. You always going to get your 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension. The character behind your physical body exposed. And then once that one exposed, you're going to feel more naked because your spirit is inside that one. You're going to be like, oh, I got to go run and get another cloth. Got to go get another false ego. Got to go get another false light. You know what I'm saying? So when you fake it till you make it for God, that's in reverse. You didn't look for the ladder in the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension and falling and getting ready to fall into the ditch into the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension. Then when it manifests into the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension, what everybody and you thought was a ladder is you crashing now, making mistakes, falling off, tower moments. You know what I'm saying? You did it in reverse. You faked it till you made it to fake the funk for God consonant dissonance, right? You ain't act like you wasn't something in the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension. You knew you ain't got the ladder in the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension. But you're telling people what you believe in your mind. Can't nobody convince you to actually feel and think that way, that manifested as the actual situation, that could make you react like you could think and feel that way. You're not letting them. So you'll manifest even more spirits all the way to your family to try to say, why they ain't getting down like us? They in the same situation. Why they ain't getting down? Why they ain't getting down? That's gonna be our first uphill battle. So it looked like you falling in a ditch, or they're trying to pull you in that ditch, crab in a bucket energy down in a 1, 2, and third dimension, because you're not going for a ladder. Because that's the first ladder, the mental, before even a physical, for them to be like, you need to get a job. The first is the mental one. You're not even looking down like you need to get one and go get one, for them to feel comfortable to tell you, to not tell you that. You know what I'm saying? They even though you know you got to get it or something like that, in your mind, you walking around like you don't need one. But they don't know what you're doing behind closed doors. But they need you to act like something around them. They need you to act like them. They need you to be gossipy. They need you. Y'all know what I'm talking about, man. That's the ladder I'm talking about. Before we even get to you having a little bit of money or not, and then it becomes the actual actions too. This is the mechanism before it manifests to that, and then it be that. You know what I'm saying? So when you kind of like not participating in that, in a fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, you're climbing a ladder. So when that take a slow time, but it process and bend in, because you know that's the process of the mechanism, and you know that's first. What people thought you was falling in a ditch in a 1, 2, or third dimension, you actually was going up the ladder in a fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension. Then it manifests in a 1, 2, or third dimension as you not falling off on something. Everybody else having to come around looking at you like, oh damn, I was wrong. You actually making it. Oh damn. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you look prosperous. You look like you on a come up. Coming on up to the east side. Up east. And now you finally got a piece of the pie. Hey, witchcraft is deep, all the way down to you can't even get $1 million and make a show without it having Masonic witchcraft in it. Y'all see how deep this is? Learn how to transmute some stuff down here. Ooh, yeah. I'm done with this mixtape too, so I don't know if it's gonna drop tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. I gotta do the picture. I want to do because I want to do some videos too. So I don't know if I want to just set it up though. Drop the mixtape first or do some videos first. I'm just drop it first and then try to then start going hard on it and then set up all the stuff so we can start doing these skits. So I want to do some skits too, man. Ain't nobody better than me at that. I don't care. Aries always got to be the I am. Man, when I start seeing people in the world doing anything, I don't even care if it's retarded. I start thinking, man, I can do that too. I'm saying all the way down to Britney Spears. I start seeing Britney Spears. I'm like, oh, this is sad. I don't sit around and think after I'm done roasting, I start thinking like, all right, now I need to get on IG now. Yeah, I said that's just how Aries think. We always gotta do it too. So it's almost like I can't have nobody even being able to make love and hip hop stuff. I've been talking like I can do that too. Like, yeah, I'm saying real stuff. I can get rich like that too. That ain't about a thing with the spiritual twist. As long as it got something to do with God. I got all the good cameras. I got all the good photos and stuff like that. The good new phones and stuff like that. It ain't about nothing. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff. Dang, I could do it much better. You know what I'm saying? So like, I gotta get with the program, but I gotta stick time to stuff. I be having so many ideas. I gotta take it one at a time. Let me go ahead and get this mixtape done so that I don't miss no qualities. Cause it's gotta be real Dr. Dre-ish, real Kanye West-ish. You know what I'm saying? I'm on this one. I made 90%. No, I'd say 75% of the beats. 75% of the beats. And then, so about the little last 25%, 30 or 35%, I got off from people I know online. You know what I'm saying? My go-to cats. You get to blend in the sound together. They got the matching Dolo sound on their own, too, with me. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be complete. I'm going in on everybody. Back to astrology. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's just some deep transformative energies right now. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you got people that you actually care for, you know, keep tabs on them. Especially if you got grandparents and stuff like that. Keep tabs on these individuals right now because, you know, a person could just haul over and anything can happen at this moment. You know what I'm saying? To the point that, you know, you probably even got healthy grandparents and stuff like that. But it could be like weird stuff where, you know, an accident can happen where they fall down the steps and that could be their death. So it wasn't even that asthma pump. It wasn't even them missing the medication or nothing like that. It was something stupid that nobody would even think of. So keep tabs on people right now. You know what I'm saying? What is sun going to Scorpio? You know what I'm saying? Your loved ones. Not no reprobates. A lot of y'all got a lot of reprobates in y'all lives that y'all think y'all love because y'all probably even use those words. But, you know, y'all wake up next to some of these people with they slobber on your face. Y'all wake up, y'all go to some of these jobs with some of these people, pick them up because they ain't got the whip and stuff like that. And some of the, and a lot of times you might be thinking that these are some of the people I'm talking about too. No. You know what I'm saying? And if you can't find specific people in your life that I'm actually talking about all the way down to a lot of y'all don't really even got good relationships with y'all grandmothers. Trust me, I'm from the hood. I'm 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I mean, rest in peace to all my grandmothers and grandfathers and stuff. But like, you know, trust me, I know. Let me not get into detail. So, you know what I'm saying? You might be in a situation where there ain't no one in that place that I'm talking about. That means you're in a place right now where you need to do some self-shadow work and self-evaluation. That's the place God needs you in right now. Because there may be a makeup, a mind that you need to develop that you're not in that location in the esoteric world. So the spaceship you in is outdated and it needs to be finished getting destroyed. And you have to be alone for it to fully be destroyed. You can't be distracted, busy interacting, developing other fart clouds and spaceships in other directions that one has to be used for. Then at some point, you're not going to know if you even in a problem or not and be manifesting issues in your physical life. So for the most part, that might be the concept you in right now if you don't have no individuals to place in that situation that you really deeply have to keep tabs on. That means God got you in a position where the only tab you need to be worried about is your own. And if you don't take that time to do it, it's like you ain't using your mind for God wants you to use it for. God take it right from you. You won't have no mind to use. Then the people need to check on you and check your pulse and have to pay money to bury you or cremate you. So yeah, be careful. This is I don't even like speaking like this, but I'm an astrologer. So we're gonna clear all of our energies. I know I'm gonna clear minds after the live stream and things of that nature. Get back into good spirits and stuff like that. Finishing this mixtape. I live every day like it's my last. So every post, everything, every song, and stuff like that is I feel like my last representation. You know what I'm saying? That's a good way to be too, because even you could look back at all the time you is here and be like, God damn, I'm back pocketed up. God damn, thank God for making me think like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's always the positive, because life ain't something to even be predicated on like that, where y'all got fear of death. So just being in that space, you manifest distance away from it. See what I'm saying? Always keep that in mind. Everything is a mechanism. So you do it like that. This is how you cheat death, even if you don't want to die. You cheat it. Everything. Learn the mechanism of everything. You know what I'm saying? You could be amongst a whole bunch of dopes in your life, all the way down to the lowest vibration of it. Let's say the most toxic game makers. Every game maker ain't. I'm talking about the lowest toxic of it. They ain't never gonna be nothing. The future crackheads and stuff like that, right? And you could be the first one to develop a thought of change in some way, shape, or form, and that would manifest as a situation of you being more crafty or witty out of that scenario. Hold on, I had another point. That wasn't the point. Hold on. That wasn't the point. Oh, that fear of death. So just being in that space, you manifest distance away from it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, care. So for the most part, yeah, let's say you're around a whole bunch of dopes all the way to the lowest individual. So you're around a whole bunch of people who don't care. All y'all getting ready to manifest from that fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension energy of the things we manifested that we wanted to uphold as a mentality to become organs. You're doing the opposite energy. So you're going to manifest separation. Everything is opposite, but in every kind of mechanism. So when you play out as above, I don't care energy, that manifests into the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension as separating from the things that was created out of care. When you created a mind and an organ, it was something you seen yourself and you ain't want to see yourself in no other kind of way. Let us make man in our image. The mind, it been in as an organ. Your character you want to express. When you don't care for things in the external world, how we made that mechanism, all the way down to you're connected to the external world, is you not caring about yourself. So what you don't care about is ultimately not you caring about yourself, and you manifest an event of you creating a situation where your spirit get knocked out of your body and your mind, and you have to go make another one, reincarnate. Whether your ass get popped or being a bank robber and police pop your ass or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? You wanting to fight a war you don't belong in. Whatever idea you construct with all the mother spirits that's on that same time in the 4th and 6th dimension at that city, manifest into the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension. Y'all all be in the same location because y'all all wanted to join the military and Air Force and go fight this Hama war. That, no matter how it play out and whatever you came up with the idea, what you're doing it for, good or bad, if the scenario is that, it lets you know you in a lack of care. You know what I'm saying? So the road to death is a lack of care. If you don't want to die, even if you're around a whole bunch of people you could be around a whole bunch of people who don't care, and in your life you ain't even know that. You might take you a lot of times to go to jail or a whole bunch of scary situations where it could have been ended all. But just that the moment you add some care, whether you need to use a ritual and spell, anything you do with your body or use an external world as a ritual and spell. The witchcraft is what you create on your mind. If you create the care witchcraft on your mind and start practicing what you preach, practice that. Find something, you could practice something in the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension. Sometimes you might be around people who you don't even see a care, so you don't even know how to care about nothing. God might bring something, or you might just stumble across an experience in a 1, 2, and 3rd dimension where you still live in reverse, but it played out positive. Everything is a yin and yang. Something in the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension physically changed your way of thinking and feeling to have your mind, to have your spirit in a place where you can make that mind a care energy. So it might have been a person, place, or thing. If you're a man, a female, if you're a female, a man, or a circumstance that made you develop a care. So whatever situation you have already accumulated being in that mind state of non-care and all these people, you will have more percentage of care than these people and those events that you're creating with them being on that same time as them, as above and below, to create events down here. Here's the thing. You might still be in similar situations, but you'll be more of a witness than a victim. And all those witnesses that you're seeing, or the situations that you're witnessing, that you ain't bearing false witness in, will be enough confirmations to God to show you to be like, all right, let me fully go ahead and go for that care. And then years ago, weeks ago, everybody who was still in that energy that you know probably then died, killed themselves, fell off, whatever the case may be, and disappeared. That little small piece of care allows you to stay alive. And that life is how we develop mind, more thoughts and feelings that produce more blood cells, how we made these organs. So ultimately in your external life, you putting care and life into something, aka adding more thoughts and feelings, but good thoughts and feelings manifest good positive situations right out of that non-caring situation and group of people that you previously manifested. See what I'm saying? It's a mechanism. I gotta use the bathroom, y'all. Then we're gonna get back into y'all houses. But everything is a mechanism. Just understand what comes first, and you'll be straight. But yeah. So everything is a trick. Because ultimately, this is why we like lying to ourselves that suit our desires that ultimately deep down no one else would know but our individual selves and why we go about it. Know what I'm saying? So that lets you know reality is a lie, but we made it real. Because that's the term itself. What we making real is the reality. And the reality is all of our minds together. And if the mind is the lie, that's what we're trying to experience. We're trying to experience a form, something out of nothing. You know what I'm saying? And something is what we call in real, but that's the definition of real. A delusion is just reality and things of that nature. It's just the physical process of what we actually think. Everything is in reverse. What we think is not real is what we need to be calling real, like the spirit, but it's nothing. And what we actually calling real really ain't real, but it's the physical world. So we got the term real. See what I'm saying? Everything is in reverse to the most purest state. Everything is in reverse. Because this is like, and if we were expressing through our individuality, through our mind and body, we are already looking at everything in reverse already. So it's like, just us having this type of dialogue right now is important. You see what I'm saying? It's important. Because it's the early mechanisms of steering things the right way in just life in general. And you will see it play out in your life in ways that's maybe unexplainable, mysterious, miraculous. And it's just for you, though. It's just for you. And you know what I'm saying? Now, we also got the moon squaring, I don't even need that. We also got the moon squaring Chiron in the North Node in Aries. So with the moon being in Cancer, now like I said, we're going to go through a little bit frustrations and stuff like that when it comes to, you know, pondering or sharing memories or going diving into memories and stuff that we're familiar with, Moon and Cancer, when it comes into the frustration areas that we was experiencing, going for our passions, motivations, expressing our individuality, trying to bring something new, aka Aries, but the mistakes of it, aka Chiron being in Aries, as known as Chiron being in Aries. So for the most part, we're going to be experiencing that little frustration where you might add more being hard on yourself than you necessarily need to. Don't look at your mistakes as mistakes like they're really deep mistakes, because a lot of these things we may develop in our mind as mistakes probably ain't mistakes at all. And if we didn't do these things, we probably wouldn't know what we know now. So we need to transmute how we're looking at a lot of things also. And if you're not, you're going to be spending more time using your mind for stuff it ain't made for. Oh, you should have did this. I wish I should have, could have. This could have did this. This person could have did that. And then half of your day go towards manifesting bullcrap. Not no new abilities and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful. You got to be careful at this time. Also, I got some water in my compass. I got to get a new compass watch. And it got dark and brown because the water got cracked. And water got in it. So it don't spin no more either. So that's a no good compass. You can get a compass watch, but you can get compass rings too. It cracked though. See, it cracked. And water got in it, so it's all brown. But once upon a time, when I'm driving and stuff like that, it play out. It's like the watch. Inside of it, it moved. It's like it matched the ocean we were on top of, all the 5 seas together. So that's how you know when you're going north, you're going to the east, and when you're going south, you're going to the west. Well, when you're going to the east, you're going north, and when you're going to the west, you're going south. So, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times, you could stay in a certain geographical location, and it kind of play like that. Like you could stay Midwest, but Midwest really kind of like Mid-East. So, you know, a lot of times, if you go more east, they say you're going up north, like New York and Uptown and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? In Manhattan. And a lot of people from the South, a lot of times, you know, they family move to California. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people from California, the West, got a lot of family from the South. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people who, you know, from the East, got a lot of family from up top, up north. You know what I'm saying? So you could just stay in America and understand what I'm talking about from a spiritual perspective. All the way to the point that it gets so deep, you could be in certain parts of the South, but depending on the geographical location, right, you'll still be considered East Coast, like Florida. So it'll be like East. You know what I'm saying? But that's based upon getting towards the water, where we have to add other countries as a whole circumstance and a general whole of where we all at. You know what I'm saying? But just breaking it down micro-wise, you know what I'm saying? If you just stay in America, that's a way of how you can kind of look at things also and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, coming from Florida and stuff like that, or well, a spot from Midwest, a lot of times would be like, what's grandiose to them, be like New York or something like that, or East. Then the aversion of Florida would probably be like Atlanta, or Atlanta to Florida. Then the Atlanta for California will probably be Texas. You know what I'm saying? I know Texas ain't Atlanta, but I'm talking about like how they're looking at the concepts. You know what I'm saying? It's low-key like a little energy circumstance going on right now in the world, where people kind of considering Texas kind of like the new Atlanta or something, or like a version of Atlanta or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Even though I think Texas is just as big, or if not bigger. So I don't know where that come from. Maybe the culture is sharing energies or something like that. Or they're sharing a lot of slang or something like that. Something's connecting Texas and Atlanta right now. All right, but so now getting into the houses. So when we start talking about the houses, these are going to be the area of life that you start to develop emotional intelligence in. Wait, let me finish the squares real quick. Also, when it gets into the North Node, thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Real stuff. Now, when we get into the North Node being in Aries, now our spiritual path, how we're going to find that is utilizing cardinal fire, initiating, creating some type of new way of seeing and feeling about something. You know what I'm saying? And expressing ourselves and being that thing ourselves as an actual representation of it, using our body as an inanimate object to add energy to mind and trying to control it as a spirit to lead into that direction. Now, that's where we're going to find our spiritual path. But that's also going to be where a lot of comfortability and uncomfortability, especially when it comes to a lot of things that you may have to do alone. You may come up with decisions of it ain't even worth doing it if you have to do it alone, based on the outcome, the expectations, or which you have manifested as far as events and stuff like that, and planting bad seeds. Thank you so much for the cash app, Corey Harrow. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. So during this particular time, you know what I'm saying, you might be even learning that you're incapable of something and being satisfied of that incapability, and that might not even be something you need to either even be soaking in. So for the most part, be careful of that also. When we start talking about the North Node wants you to go through that scary thing of expressing yourself, so you could carve out some new shape in the world, some new butterfly, and get out of that caterpillar, outdated energy. I mean, that outdated space you in. You know what I'm saying? The universe waiting for you to do that and stuff, because the universe is all about change, shift. This is how you even came in, through your mother's birth pain and your father's pleasure and stuff like that. So you have to be doing that in the world, even if you have to step on other people's toes. You might be a vessel used by God to wake other individuals up, even if you was having to fight fire with them and be their enemy. You're waking things up in their own life that you don't know and you don't need to worry about. And they probably secretly thank you too if you go ahead and be in that type of mind state. They'll be thanking you behind closed doors. So you know what I'm saying? That's just like a bully. You know what I'm saying? Might be bullying their whole high school and junior high career until that one person that didn't want to get bullied. God used them as a vessel to go upside that bully's head so hard, brother, and depending on how much energy that bully put in, they might have to lose a tooth to wake up. And at that point, when that bully go home and cry to their parents, it ain't had nothing to do with that person who ain't want to get bullied no more. It got everything to do with that bully and God, and that bully saying, "I never put my hands on another person again." And that'll be that way of that bully secretly thinking that person, and that person, if that person truly with God, they don't need to be worrying or sitting around worrying about if they did the wrong thing or not, because they're getting ready to manifest that spunk, or that stimuli that spunks give off like a fume, where the dog can sense your energy and attack it again. And if you play sweet too much, the bully might get enough courage to do it again, and you might got to knock out a few more teeth. But if you leave things be and be with God and be like, it wasn't on me or whatever like that, you will never know how much other things you helped in society. You might have even helped society issues of bullying and obesity and stuff like that, just by you and that. Once upon a time, Tupac said, well, I sparked one mind and sparked another one. That's it. Each one teach one. Now I know that might have been a dumb example and stuff like that, because I know I got strong horror spirits on my channel. Y'all know nothing about no bully, but I like to make that as an example for to make sense for everybody, because we all watch these kind of movies. So actually, it's not a dumb example. It actually make perfect sense in the spirit world. Everything is in reverse though, in a 1, 2, and 3rd dimension. I'm saying that's spiritual strength. That's that aha right there. That's that wake up right there. So you can be like, all right, let me take this in my circumstances and stuff like that and start building these mechanisms and stuff. So even if I gotta cuss my grandma out, I don't need to worry about if I did the wrong thing or not. It's something that my grandma did to even manifest that I'm even being used as a universe going through me, and so I don't need to sit around and worry about it and things of that nature. Grandma know what she did. That ain't got nothing to do with me, and she probably secretly thinking me that I cussed her monkey ass out. You know what I'm saying? And everybody can get along at the family reunion now. Everybody can be respected. Nobody got to look down upon nobody else now. I'm saying real stuff. That can mess up a family reunion right there, but no words being said. There's an elephant in the room. People looking down at others based upon what y'all trying to uphold with society and stuff like that. And that alone can destroy a good happy meal. All the food won't make nobody full and be like nasty, even if it was cooked good. Because no soul food fart cloud energy is floating around the table. You know what I'm saying? There's always elephants in the room and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You might be little nephew Timmy You can't even express what new video game you bought because you know Uncle Jimmy in his mind, the first thing he get ready to bring up is when you get ready to get a job though. So in your mind, you thinking like, oh yeah, let me go ahead and be quiet. So that's the elephant in the room. Then you know what I'm saying, and you probably went around and probably had 13 kids if you're the female. So you don't even want to say how much you just came up on a lottery ticket and where them kids got their new shoes from because auntie gonna be like that, but where that money you owe me for your water bill last month. So it's like a lot of elephants in the room where it's like, what I'm saying, things can't be really free at the what I'm saying, family reunion dinner tables. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta once everybody get all those out the way, you know what I'm saying, then none of those could be used. You know what I'm saying? The little nephew Jimmy playing a video game, Uncle Tom that's getting ready to bring up, hey, you ain't working for the corporation family business yet, though. When you don't get a job, they won't be able to bring that up. You know what I'm saying? It'll be other energies everybody care about themselves because everybody using their superpowers. Everybody using their mind. So it'll be other distractions everybody be able to talk about, be free. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know that might have been a dumb example, but at the same time, all y'all get what I'm saying. You get it. You get it. I just got to make something relative in it, but it get a little serious beyond video games and stuff like that at these things. You know what I'm saying? It get real deep. It get real deep. You know what I'm saying? You could have just probably had a cousin or a friend or stuff like that at once upon a time when you was at school. Your mind wasn't really all the way there to know how other people was looking at it, but it was a normal thing. Y'all probably was struggling a little bit, so you had to wear a whole bunch of your cousin's shirts and stuff like that. Now that your mind clear, you got your 1-2. It's like you probably in a little better position, or probably not, but that always could be thrown up now. Like they always could look at you a certain way that you don't want to be looked at no more. That's the elephant in the room. Y'all said so before y'all can even get to a friendly conversation. You don't even care if they friendly. You got this other animosity where they got to be like, where all that come from? You talking about something else, but it's a other energy with it. They like, where all that come from? You secretly trying to get like brownie points and stuff for them not to see you a certain way that ain't got nothing to do with the conversation. Just a way that they seen you from the past goddamn 20 years they knew you in your life. So it's like all that type, all that's the spiritual, the world right there. That stuff. So all that stuff I'm talking about. Sometimes if you the more powerful spirit, you got to check the family members and stuff like that and get those desires out of them so they can know they demons and they can't use those weird energies no more. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much for the donation, Solomon and Don. I appreciate that from my heart. Real stuff. Where you could be the spiritual adult even if you're younger, and then you can always look down on them when they get ready to use their energy to express something with their throat chakra or body language that can lead down to a possibility of one of those type of discussions or fart cloud elephants in the room. You know what I'm saying? Then therefore now you real spirit. Now, let's say you got Cancer. Well, hold on, Pluto. We got the moon squaring Pluto. Right now, Fenris and Aries being in Lilith. Now we're gonna have to learn how to transmute in some type of way and feel comfortable with expressing something new, no matter if there's no example there, because that's a lazy spirit mentality anyway. So then you will do nothing but make a lot of enemies in that world trying to get, because it's coming from the starting point intent of trying to get something easy. Figure out how to jump in something and you the only thing there, even if it's receiving a lot of hate. That don't matter. It's a new thing. The only thing that matters is something new. So that's the only way you can be the face of an inanimate object to receive all the beneficial energies of it and reap the benefits. You know what I'm saying? So you got to jump totally in that energy. And that's how you're going to find your spiritual path and your incapabilities anyway. Your capabilities and your incapabilities. You know what I'm saying? So you need to know what you're incapable of. You need to know these rejections and oppositions. And you need to know what you truly can go for. Because without the rejections, you wouldn't even know what to carve out to know how to do something better. And therefore, that's the spiritual path. The North Node. South Node is what you're doing as a constant and would become familiar, can become a routine and pattern. But once it become outdated, it can also become a hell. So what was once a heaven can become a hell. South Node energy. And your spirit will always create a scenario to get out of the South Node to go onto the North Node, but it will also create a scenario where it's too much into the North Node, it will jump back into the South Node. So it's not necessarily meaning detached from your South Node like it's a desire that stop you from manifesting. It's looking at everything like a bitch, using everything. So for the most part, everything is a percentage scale, and when you're looking at it from an equilibrium perspective, South Node could be played out as a yin and yang too. It could be positive. Anytime you're jumping into a North Node situation, a new scenario, you're bringing previous advice, knowledge, experiences that you went through. South Node, things that you are comfortable with, so you're not naked. So things can run through much more smoothly when you are experiencing new scenarios. Now you're playing out spiritual simultaneous energies also. blending two things together to create something beautiful and new. And then sometimes the North Node could be negative. You could be too much into your North Node, developing too many uncomfortable and unfamiliar scenarios, right? So the point that you're manifesting more of being aware of your incapabilities and learning little to no capabilities of things, where you're manifesting 10 steps backwards where you think you're going forward because you're not adding no advice or no familiarity from your south node and things of that nature. So the whole thing is to know where you're going. North node, you have to know where you're coming from. South node. So anytime you go too far into the north node, you got to bring something from the south node so you could gain some comfortability in that uncomfortability. And every now and then when you go too far into the south node, get too comfortable, sometimes you got to shake things up so you can manifest more. Even if you're in a positive situation at the moment where it look like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You can always use an XM radio if it's still just a tape deck in that spaceship. You can always use an XM radio. So, even though the classic vehicle spaceship ain't broke, so you don't need to fix it, you can add artillery to make your time in it, in the present, the earth, much more pleasant. You know what I'm saying? Because the future is the fire, the past is the water, the present is the earth, the present, right? And how that get accumulated from all circumstances is the transition from micro to macro, the air. So it's how you go from the past, present to conduct your, the past, future to conduct your present. So air is just the transition of what it is. Air is just is a micro version of fire and water. And fire is just a concept of something less dense, and water is just a concept of a collection of something. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we get temperament. And then we get to see the transition of how temperament happened, air. And then once we see the many different transitions, transportations of it, percentage levels, air, many different logics, we can make practical sense out of it. Many different forms out of it. Earth, the present, the boxes. You know what I'm saying? To put those energies in and things of that nature. So truly everything is just fire, water, air, and earth. But if you want to call everything fire, really everything is just fire. You know what I'm saying? So you got, and it really ain't fire, it's just fluid. So you have a transition, and we're calling the transition of this fluid fire, water, air, and earth. But it's just a transition. You got the spark of the fluid, the gas, fire. You got an accumulation of that fluid, gases coming together as an accumulation, liquid. Then you have the transitions of that when lighter and heavier interacting with each other because of the accumulation on all sizes, right? So that plays out as air, steam, cloud, you know what I'm saying, sun, moon, but for the most part. And then when all those formulate as a condensed level, we got the shape and form of it, the practicality or the energy that can be felt impactfully before it becomes a form. The earth, the presence, God presence, your presence. You know what I'm saying? Your presence could be felt. I ain't give you nothing. We're talking about the energy, the earth, when it condenses and become the earth transition of that fluid. Now it could be impactful. It could be influential. You could affect someone's inner fluid when you put your inner fluid and use an external witchcraft, you know what I'm saying? Throat chakra, organs that you created to do that with, for them to get hit with that adugan. See what I'm saying? All right, now, so we get into this alignment. Shout out to NBA Young Boy. I like that video. They remind me of my video I made, Jesus Flights. And then when I was talking about Scarface, I never seen the man cry until I seen the man die. Down, 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 down. But it got the videos mixed up because it was the video with Tupac and Scarface, though. Won't you smile for me? Just smile. Just smile for me. Was it smile? I think it was smile. Let's smile, smile on me. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff. But yeah, my same outfit on, everything in my Jesus Flights video stuff. You know what I'm saying? My video is a little better though on the cross. But shout out to me, a young boy, real stuff. 4KT flights. Now let's check this out. Now, getting into the houses. So we're gonna start off now. We're gonna start off from in order. So we're gonna start with Cancer first house. So that's gonna be where the moon at. And then the next Trine house is gonna be where the sun, Mercury, and Mars is at. And then that next house following is going to be where Neptune is at, and where Saturn is trying to get ready to transition back in once it goes direct. Again. I'm saying? Now, if you got Cancer in the first house, now look, check this out. These areas of life, all your houses correlate to the circumstance of all your scenarios. So whatever that you have manifested from the accumulation of all your houses, going to be what you're actually going through based upon people, places, and things. But the mechanism how these came to be is going to be certain events that happen in certain houses. So to know if you was the higher or the lower octave based on emotional intelligence, aka if you was the negative one and you're playing victimizing energy, or you're taking self-accountability and there's something you need to do. The areas of the life where Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces at is going to be the areas of life that show you if you was wrong, lower octave, or you're taking self-accountability and you're trying to become the higher octave, or if you're already the higher octave, keep playing good seeds and keep going, because you're already seeing representations of positive scenarios that look like it could be potential to add on to your goals to lead on to more successful areas, whether it's relationships, business, career, gifts and talents, however the case may be. The houses that Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces is in, those are going to be the areas of life that give you that emotional intelligence to know whatever your full totality of your scenario, what kind of place you in, the lower octave or the higher octave version of it. You see what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. We're going to break it down for everybody, though. Now, let's say you got Cancer in the first house. With Cancer being in the first house, there's going to be something that you need to emotionally gain comfortability with your personal space. Moon, gain emotional comfortability. Why that Cancer there? With your first house, personal space, the personal people, places, and the things that you share your space with that develop your personal interests, affairs, insecurities, or issues. Now, you got to gain some. You're going to be reacting and responding to certain things there that might mess with your heart space, make you feel uncomfortable, or someone trying to throw you on a guilt trip. Because remember, the houses may not necessarily be always your actions. It could be another sign or that specific sign that play out in that house, and they're bringing that event. So always remember that too. All the way down to your first house. Your first house isn't always necessarily your personal actions. And more than often, 90 times out of the last 10% of the 100%, right, which ain't no such thing, your ascendant get filtered through the reaction and action of your moon and sun. So a lot of times it gets seen in a modification of your sun. And sometimes you're not even doing your ascendant. Some people think you are, you know what I'm saying? But it's just added to the traits to add more of what make your sun different than someone else's. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times your first house could be predicated on just people who bring them type of scenarios. So people who share your personal space, how things you've seen in your personal life to develop things you could be personally interested in, and then slowly but surely it could sometimes become your personal traits. But it's not something that you're just acting on or trying to react to all the time. What's that? Now, and I'm probably the best representation online, period, in the whole world. I'm different in all ramifications and statistics. I'm the best representation if you ever want to know what is the energy of an Aries, Sun, Sag, Moon, Leo, Ascendant. Period. And they all 888. I'm a 17 degrees Aries Sun, 17 degrees Leo Ascendant, 8 degrees Sagittarius Moon. So that's 888. All right, let's get it. All right, so look, let's say you got Cancer in the first house right now. So with Cancer being in the first house, there's going to be some emotional intelligence that you're going to have to develop when it comes to the people, places, and things that you share your personal space with to develop your personal insecurities, issues, interests, or your personal affairs. to develop your personal traits and things of that nature, or your personality. And when you're in that energy, you're going to start to see what you need to express, and express energies of transforming, taking power and control over something, or express energies of keeping something secret. So start expressing keeping something secret now without expressing as much and stuff like that, due to the fact when it comes to your actions, what's on your mind, the way you think, and stuff like that. And when it comes to your passions and your motivations and what you're trying to do as far as your goals, you may need to express and pay more attention to keeping these things behind closed doors and stuff like that, and put another character around the whole regard of that, due to the fact of you should do this because you know this is the channel of solutions, because it's Scorpio there. Then in the ninth house and things of that nature, your dreams, imaginations, or your fantasy is going to look more possible, especially when you are able to travel internally or externally, or start to add meaning and reasoning to express these things from a mutable perspective, in some way, or get more educated and learn about these things. And once you do these things, you're going to learn if you're the lower or higher octave in your totality of the situation you're in at the moment, and should you be playing victim or not, and is it justified or not. Now let's say if you got Cancer in the second house, right? With Cancer in the second house, you're going to be in a situation where you need to gain some emotional intelligence when it comes to the people, places, and things that you value, where you plant seeds at, your actual gifts and talents. Is that a gift or a talent? Is it making you money, or is it something that's distracting you from what you need to be doing, that even if it is a gift and talent, you should be doing something else that can support that in some way, shape, or form. However the case, that your case may be structured, right, and constructed. That's where you need to gain emotional stability at. You need to even be seeing if you are even giving the right reciprocation to the right person and claiming that you're valuing them, to see if they're even valuing you in the same percentage scale. Because your self-esteem could get all funky during this particular time. That's the second house. Once you do that, takes you into the sixth house. There may be certain areas that you need to express and take actions towards the sun. When it comes to the way that you think and communicate, Mercury. When it comes to your passions, motivations, and your goals. So if it get released too much and not get met in a timely fashion because you're talking about it, it can lead to anger and aggression. Mars. These may be things you might need to express or take actions towards. We're keeping behind closed doors when you're in the area of life of the sixth house. Mars, Scorpio, in the area of life of the sixth house. Your job, work, health, routine, scheduling. So when you at work during this particular time, make sure you quiet. Don't be talking too much about your passions, which you might be upset about, what someone else ain't doing, what's on your mind, and make sure your actions are straight up at work, and you know that everybody at work ain't your friend, and you just there to clock in and clock out and get that check. Boom. Once you use that the sun, Mercury, and Mars in that sixth house right there, boom, then that takes you to the 10th house. Your dreams, imaginations, fantasies, or delusions, or faith and beliefs is going to be discovered there, so you can decipher which one to use and which one is profitable. When it comes to, that's going to end up being your status, what you're known for, how you're seen, and ultimately can become your career, your popularity level. And based on that dream, Pisces, Neptune, and the 10th house that become your status, you're going to be able to compare and contrast if you're around the right individuals or not, or is you going to be guilty by association and individuals putting blemishes on your light, and be able to go ahead and work with that energy. And then with all that, you're going to be able to be in a situation right now where you're looking at your whole circumstance like, okay, am I on the lower octave, or am I doing the right thing at the moment, or if I'm in a situation where I need to change something and adjust it. Now let's say if you got Cancer in the third house. Now if you got Cancer in the third house, right? Cancer in the third house. Now with Cancer being in the third house, this puts you in a situation where you might got to gain some emotional intelligence when it comes to your surroundings, which you're familiar with. You know what I'm saying? Your friend circle. You might got friends that you care too much about that you might need to stop caring about because it's actually distracting you and holding you back, and they're not even into the same thing that you're into. So you might need to develop some emotional intelligence there real quick. That's going to take you into the seventh house where, you know, there may be something that's dealing with your relationships, how you relate to others, or how you network that you might need to start canceling and keep behind closed doors. There might be someone you know that you don't need to introduce to someone else. There may be something that you know that you don't need to release and communicate with someone that you're relating to or networking with. They might not need that information. Mercury. You know what I'm saying? You might not need to show certain actions. Your actions that you've been showing might lead you into areas of getting taken advantage of if you ain't already are. The sun. You know what I'm saying? Then you have Mars. You know what I'm saying? Mars is debilitated in the seventh house and the sun. So your actions may appear to develop weak scenarios where you may appear to be weak or look at someone else as weak, or the situation ain't on no sturdy table. So it's a weak situation that you don't need to be building. And when it comes to Mars, it can be debilitated and stuff like that, because the sun fall here and Mars debilitated here. When you're going for a passion, it may not reach the prosperous outcome. It may actually create a self-sabotaging or even a more toxic scenario, or add more fuel to a fire based upon an argument or a discussion or discrepancy that you have with a networking or a relationship, or how you're relating. You may be relating too negatively. You know what I'm saying? So get that in check during this particular time. Then that leads into the 11th house, right? Your dreams, imaginations, fantasies, or something that's conducted with Pisces and Neptune, right? You're going to be able to see that or be able to align that with a group of associations, or whatever you associate yourself with, or your public persona will be mixed in that energy to be able to see what's the negative and positive and what to put faith and belief in to associate yourself with. And therefore, you'll be able to see the full totality of your situation and see if you're the lower octave or the higher one. Now, let's say you got Cancer in the 4th house, right? Now, with Cancer in the 4th house, you may need to do some emotional intelligence when it comes to people that you sharing your business with. 10th house, opposite energy, business, but sharing it with people that you think you too close with. So you're letting them know what's going on privately in some degree. It can be used against you. 4th house. So be careful that you don't create no debilitated energy with that unbalance. Gain some emotional intelligence there. The moon rules here. Sometimes you could get a little bit too comfortable with a dirty house with a lot of dishes in the sink. You know what I'm saying? But just because you at home and it's your day off of work, you feel entitled. Make sure you don't play too much in that energy. It'll play out as procrastination. Now take the dishes and a dirty house and take that scenario in everything that you do privately, even if you live in a clean house. You see what I'm saying? Gain some emotional intelligence there. There may be certain things that you need to look at when it comes to who you should be close to or not, how you're developing your privacy or not, and even if privacy is productive or not. You know what I'm saying? Or there's things that you need to do that you need to not even care about privacy at the moment. Gain that emotional intelligence with the moon in the 4th house. Boom. Jump into the 8th house. And for the most part, start to utilize passions. You know what I'm saying? Get motivated because there's some type of action or something like that that you need to expose. So it's going to play inverted. So it ain't going to be like the other houses because it's the ruler house of Scorpio. So instead of you having to keep a secret, even if you do have to keep a secret, it may be in a way that you have to hold that receipt to expose something. So you have to bring light to something. Sun being in the 8th house in the dark. You having to bring the light to something, expose something, because it might be something that put a blemish on your light and you're being guilty by association in. And if you don't expose this different light out of that dark, all them colors coming together without your shade of the rainbow being separated, you still gonna be guilty by association, and it'll block things from your desires not manifesting, and you transition into a phoenix from taking power and control over your situation and transformations and death and bringing life to things. So you want to keep charge of that. The sun, Mercury, the way you're thinking and communicating, there may be something that you need to start communicating that you've been keeping inside too much, especially when it comes to your passions, motivations, and creative gifts, Mercury. And when it comes into Mars, your passions, motivations, it's at home here. So there may be, you automatically going to feel more comfortable and have more courage to go for your passions to bring it to the light, aka start showing people what you done had shining inside of you that it was dark to everybody else previously. Then once you do that, kick it into the 12th house, dreams, imaginations, and fantasies, and your faiths and beliefs going to be redirected in a much more better area and things of that nature. And therefore, you're going to be able to see if grandma or these people who was giving you false beliefs or making you think that it was a delusion, whereas really was creative. You're going to be able to compare and contrast between those people, friends, co-workers, and associates, and the full totality of your situation. You're going to be able to see if you're the lower octave or not. Now, let's say if you got Cancer in the 5th house. Break. Now, if you got Cancer in the 5th house, right? My pilot sense is tingling. My pilot sense is tingling. So, this gonna put you in a situation where you need to gain some emotional intelligence with how you expressing yourself. You may be expressing yourself too much with your heart on your sleeves. So even if your heart is on your sleeves and things of that nature, because a person who normally has the moon in the 5th house, they set the stage for all events in their life for them to appear like they got their heart on their sleeve. And every movie that they make that they want to be the main A-list actor or actress on, they make a romance movie and everybody's supposed to care about their emotions and feelings and their moods or something like that. So these are extreme Super Saiyan, Cancerian Leos, even if they ain't got that in the 5th house with the moon there. You know what I'm saying? Or even have that moon in one of those signs. Anytime the moon go into the 5th house, to play out Super Saiyan, the traumatic drama queen, let's make Lion King part 102 type energies. Sad, but for the most part, you just got this transit, so you get ready to go through this phase yourself. So try not to be like this around your family, friends, and coworkers and stuff like this. But at the same time, or your kids, you know what I'm saying, your kids is more important than you. You ain't the star of the show no more. You know what I'm saying, you didn't gave up your rights to be the star of the show. You better respect game. Now, but keeping your mind in check. Boom, that's the moon right now transiting your fifth house, having emotional intelligence. That's all I was just breaking down right there. Describing emotional intelligence that you need to direct in your fifth house. How you express yourself, how you have fun and enjoy yourself, what you're entertaining, see if it's a distraction or not, and things of that nature, and how you go for your creative gifts. So you need to gain some emotional intelligence there to see what to put down and see what to uphold. Then that's going to take you into the ninth house, right? So there may be some type of action, some type of way of thinking, communicating, something that's on your mind, and some type of passion, motivation, and desire you need to keep secret. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to be preaching. You don't need to be trying to give advice about it. You know what I'm saying? You don't even really need to be trying to take advice about it because people don't even need to be knowing about it right now. You need to be learning, getting more educated about it, traveling internally and externally about it, even if you got to do it by yourself and stuff like that, and get more into that energy and stuff like that. And everybody don't need to see your actions. Do some things alone or with some trustworthy people that you have a deep connection with, all that Scorpio stuff. Then when you do that ninth house energy, right, boom, that's going to take you into the first house. And then when you go into the first house, your dreams, imaginations, or your fantasies that you personally invested in, or which you was in a delusion about based upon a personal insecurity or issue, you'll be able to decipher, compare, and contrast who need to be in your personal space or not, who was manifesting personal insecurities for you or not, or who was adding to your personal interest. And therefore, boom, to a full totality, you'll be able to know if you're the lower octave or not. Cancer in the sixth house. Now, if you got Cancer in the sixth house, you're going to be in a situation where you need to gain some more emotional intelligence when it comes into your relationships, how you're relating, and your networking, and see if you got your heart on your sleeve. You might be relating to emotional, and it's actually allowing you to get the short end of the stick based upon your business networking or whoever you're networking with, your relationships, your siblingships, or how you relate. You might be relating of a person that's settling for short, devaluing yourself, not taking the full value of what you know you're offered. No, I'll take the 50 cent. Yeah, I like that. Where it's worth $20 billion. You know what I'm saying? No, you better take that. You better talk your game. You know what I'm saying? You only get what you negotiate, not what you worth. You funked out. So for the most part, you could be in that energy right now when you got the moon in the seventh house. Deal with that emotional intelligence all the way down to dealing with your actual relationships, the person that you wake up next to with the slobber on your face on the pillow. Gain some emotional intelligence and see if you getting the short end of the stick in that relationship, or is it things that they need to get up off their butt and do, especially when it comes to sharing bills and stuff, right? Because you know Saturn is exalted in the seventh house, so it's still got those traits there that y'all might have to pay attention to. You know what I'm saying? Or the relationship won't be exalted or have nothing to stand on as far as stability in the world to even be in the prosperous areas of statistics and good marriages or good relationships long lasting with the security of Saturn in the right octave, not the lower one. But for the most part, once you develop that, then that's going to take you into the 11th house. You know, there may be certain associations and things of that nature that your actions may need to disappear from. Ghost people, you know what I'm saying, without giving them that emotion why at the moment and things of that nature. Or, you know, if it's a job or something that you associated with, so there's a lot of responsibilities you're in, you know what I'm saying, you might have to create some transformation or power and control issue there where it could be known while you're separating, but there's a little fight or fuss, or even if it's easy going, you know what I'm saying, you just, you know, got to transform. You know what I'm saying? You just don't want to do this anymore, or whatever you're leaving from and you're joining, you're expressing yourself like, yeah, I need this because I'm trying to transform my life or something like that. All the way if you know you probably getting into college debt, so you probably got to go pick up a little Dunkin' Donut job or something like that and stuff. So you know you want to get hired before anyone else. So the first thing you're gonna put on that application, or the first thing you're gonna say in the interview is, hey, I got a college debt or this, that, and third. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a little trick too that people don't know. Dopes in life that ain't gonna be amount to nothing. They sometimes they don't realize why they don't. You know, you can see a sign on McDonald's that say 24 hours interviews and stuff like that. You be trying to figure out, man, why I ain't get hired? A lot of times there's certain tricks and stuff that if you ain't applying your social security number in the world and society, you don't understand. Your spirit don't be in a space to develop being in a certain mind frame to have a certain body language and throat chakra and way of acting to get hired. Whereas sometimes it just means a certain mind state you have to be in. Sometimes people who go to school or college or something like that, by default, they're in a certain different space than you. And even if they don't know, they're using a trick. By default, just them being in that space and the people around them who allowed them the luxury of that, allow them to have a better mentality than you. So a person who would just use them being in college debt or having something like what they're dealing with, that's something in society that look like the way the shadow government run the world, This will make all managers hire that person first. You know what I'm saying? And then even if you was to learn that, you'll be thinking like, dang, but this person said they get ready to leave real fast or something like that. So why would you hire them before me? And I'm telling, it ain't about that. You know what I'm saying? It ain't even about that. This is why Mexicans run the temp services. But look, check this out, right? Now, but let's say if you got cancer in the where was that? We was at cancer in the ninth house. Yeah, so cancer, and I didn't know we was that far along. Okay, we got 11 minutes left. So perfect. 11 minutes, 11. Try to say 11 minutes real fast, y'all. 11 minutes, 11 minutes, 11 minutes, 11 minutes. 11 minutes, 11 minutes, 11 minutes, 11 minutes. 11 minutes, 11 minutes, 11 minutes. I think that B and that M get the tongue twisting. 11 minutes. So yeah, when you try to say it fast, the V, when you get ready to get into the VIN and the men, that's what mix you up. 11 minutes. Yeah, 11 minutes, 11 minutes, 11 minutes, 11 minutes. Elimination. 11 minutes. It took 11 minutes for elimination. I wonder how long it take for eliminating. Let me go back to school when I was eliminating things in study hall with that free period when you want to get your notes together. You can eliminate some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Eliminate and then sneak in, getting on Dragon Ball Z for the last 5 minutes of the period before lunch and stuff like that. And then, you know what I'm saying? Get some pictures real quick so you can show everybody what pictures you got. And everybody ain't know about Dragon Ball AF yet and all that stuff. Like, oh, so that good stuff. I remember all them times. I remember all them days. I had all new pictures first. Ain't nobody knew about the little boo that was not the boo, the human boo yet. Nobody knew about that. Nobody knew about the silver hair Dragon Ball Z characters yet. Everybody thought that was like some fake drawings and stuff until it actually came out. And it had the Japan with the American version, not the Japan. I was like, bro, that like yesterday and stuff like that. All right, I'm getting mental orgasms and stuff. But look, all right, like I said though, right? Within the ninth house, right? So there may be some emotional intelligence that you might got to utilize and things of that nature when it comes into somebody said eighth house. I thought eighth house was 8th, 12th, and the 8th, 12th, and the 4th. Oh, so we might be on the 8th house. Okay, yeah. So let me not skip houses. 8th house. So yeah, there may be something that you have to have some emotional intelligence when you. And I'm glad you said that. Yeah, we was on the 8th house because that put me right back on track. So in the 8th house, with the moon being there, you got to have some emotional intelligence behind closed doors and stuff like that. Everybody don't need to know what's going on and stuff when it comes into your deep desires, passions, and motivations. There's something you need to transform. There's a habit you need to get rid of. There's a distraction you need to get rid of. Gain some emotional intelligence there, even when it comes to sexual partners and stuff, right? There may be somebody that's bad for you, where it might not even have anything to do with the sex or even developing an STD, but all the baggage or the energy that this person come with beyond that. You know what I'm saying? To make it simple and plain, let's say it's a female or a man. And whoever that you fucking, right? Ain't nothing wrong with them, but they might got a crazy ex or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So everything that they come with still causes you problems. So you might have to gain some emotional intelligence in that area. Boom, that takes you to the 12th house. There's some type of dream, imagination, or fantasy that you take an action on that you need to stop showing to other individuals. The sun, stop communicating and talking because the Mercury is debilitated here. Mercury and Mars, passions, motivation, and desires. There's something that you need to go for yourself without everybody needing to know what your favorite beliefs is and things of that nature because they probably ready to criticize it anyway and make you angry and aggressive with the lower octave of Mars. Therefore, from a full totality, you'll be able to understand what's actually going on when it actually goes into your oh no, my bad. And then that takes you into the 4th house. Your dreams, imagination, and your fantasies that you derive in private when it comes to home and family or domestic issues and things of that nature will allow you to decipher if you're close with the right individuals or if you have enough privacy to develop what you need to develop or not. And then you'll be able to see if you're in the right scenario or not, or if you're the lower octave or higher one. Now, let's say you got Cancer in the now 9th house, finishing that off. So I'm whoever leading the checkpoints and stuff like that, I appreciate that. I'm going to make sure I check my comments this time so I can go ahead and pin that. Now, when we start to talk about Cancer being in the 9th house. Now, if you got Cancer in the 9th house, it's going to put you in a situation where you may need to look at your emotional intelligence based upon the things that you're learning, right? the things that you're developing and stuff like that. And you might need to start taking your own advice a lot more. You might need to start putting yourself in a situation where you gain emotional courage to travel internally or externally. Don't be scared to gain some type of guilt, even if you're in some type of religious attribute of a thought that you scared to think about. No, God don't want me to think that, whatever like that. No, these are forms of thinking further, traveling externally, having a further out mind, not being limited, having a small mind in a small world. Spirit in a spaceship flying around somewhere in a limited apartment city and in an apartment complex in Babylon. No, you want to broaden your mind out. You want to go somewhere to a mall. You want to go to a broad land, a distant land with all these new buildings and all these new, all of the lights, all of the flights, in some way, shape, or form. Yeah, yeah. Bella, yalla. You know what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. So open your mind a little bit more when it comes into the ninth house and the moon being here, and gain that emotional intelligence, even if there's no one around you to make you feel emotionally comfortable, or they're playing out traits to make you feel familiar. That's not the actual attribute right now. You need to gain emotional intelligence with yourself in this area to be more awakened or more aware or more broad. Now, and then that's going to take you into the first house. There's going to be some type of action, sun, way of communicating or thinking, what's on your mind, Mercury, and your passion, motivation, and desires. Or if it's not met in a timely fashion, could get led to anger and aggression, Mars. And there may be something that you need to hide from those three energies, from people in your personal space, or when it comes to your personal interests, your personal affairs. You might need to take actions towards these things yourself. You might need to talk to yourself about these things to develop better ideas and abilities. Talk to God. You know what I'm saying? Talk to nothing. You know what I'm saying? So you talk to God. You get all kind of abilities when you talk to nothing. Every time y'all be talking to something, y'all be like, oh, God, get me out of these situations. You still ain't talking to God. You talking to that failure. Stop talking to these demons and these lords and these false gods and stuff like that. Just sit there in quiet and peace. And then if you do develop a thought, it's a new ability after that. That's how you talk to God. I mean, ain't no talking, and ain't nothing to talk to. And now you closer. You know everything I'm talking about now. Everything is in reverse. Everything is in reverse. A demon would have to teach y'all to live in a world it like in reverse, to teach you like, oh, that's not talking to God or something like that. Then that's that demon tricking you to talk to it. That's why you got to pray to it every day. Where God said, man, I ain't got nothing to do with this universe. Treat it like a bitch. Ain't nothing standing between me and the universe but you. And I need you to be like me. You know what I'm saying? And then at that point, you cold at that point. You got cold game. God give you cold abilities. You know what I'm saying? Cold abilities. Cold. It's heating up. Hey, you on your way. Everything in reverse. You get cold game in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension. Fall, winter, you get lit. You heat up everything. You hot. Get all the attention. Bright thing in the one, two, and third dimension. Down here, spring, summer. Everything in reverse. Once you understand the mechanism, life become fun. That's all it's about. Once you learn the mechanism, it's like dang, I don't even want to make sense out of it no more. And it make all the sense in the world. I'll say you get a hand on life like it ain't nothing. But look, so that'll be your personal space. Then that'll take you into the fifth house. Your dreams, imaginations, or your fantasies in some degree, right? Will be able to be portrayed through whatever you're paying attention to. Will develop your fun and enjoyment, or we could develop more as your characteristics that you could get attention for to make you feel more youthful in some way, shape, or form. Then you'll be able to see if you're giving attention to the right people or not, and to a full totality, you'll be able to see if you're the lower octave or the higher octave based upon your scenario and events. Now, let's say if you got Cancer in the 10th house, you're going to have some emotional intelligence, and it may be frustrating because emotional intelligence ain't in an area where emotional intelligence is important. You know, these are things that's more serious, more business, non-personal, you know what I'm saying? Things that at the crib, lead at the crib, you know what I'm saying? You might got family, home, and stuff like that, private, close people put blemishes on your light, guilty by association. You can't walk through all these doors where the gatekeepers are willing to open it for you based upon what you bring along with you. So a lot of these opposite energies from the fourth house can play out in the 10th house as negative. So you need to make sure, because the moon is opposite here and it rules the fourth house. So you need to make sure that you have an emotional intelligence when it comes to participating with your status, what you're known for, how you're seen, and what could become your career, your popularity level. And when it comes to your business, the lower octave of it is just gossip. Higher octave of it is what you could develop as material and maternal. So that's the lower and higher octave of a business. Everything got to get in yang. So so you can have everybody in your business for all the wrong reasons, or everybody in your business because you feeding the whole community. You know what I'm saying? So you choose. But at the same time, you get caught in between limbo, middle class, or trying to reach that ladder scale. At the same time, these are what you need to have emotional intelligence of, and sometimes You might not need to bring so much home or emotional floatness or moods to the 10th house, and that's the moon being there needing to learn emotional intelligence in that scenario, where emotional intelligence have to be used in areas where it's not important, but it still has to be used. So you have to be frustrated. You might be frustrated where you have to care for a person that's lazy at work more than you usually have to, and temper your words and not cuss them out. You know what I'm saying? But the seed that you plant from that will manifest more prosperous scenarios for you. You heard it first from Uriel. Now, going into the next energy, boom, second house. This might be a person, place, or thing that you value, that you plant seeds, something that you're planting seeds in, as far as a gift or a talent, to help you develop your self-esteem, or in totality to something that you value, a person, place, or thing, or your gifts and talents, or the things that you plant seeds in to build your self-esteem. There may be some of these things that when it comes to your actions, your viewpoints, how you view that person, place, or thing that you're valuing, the way you communicate, what's on your mind, what you're thinking about, and your passions, motivations, and desires, because Mars is debilitated here. You might need to hide these things so you don't even develop the lower octave of Mars. All that passion you got for that person, place, or thing that you value, that gift or talent, stop having that much passion for it during this particular time. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to Mars being debilitated, it'll have a person being more greedy for the money, and the things that they do for money put them in more compromised and frustrating situations that the average individual wouldn't have to go through. So every now and then they get into a position where they glad they did it, but everything that they did and everything that it come with and how they have to look over their shoulder, a lot of times ain't worth it. But at the same time, that's how this can play out when it plays out negative, because Mars is debilitated here. But the sun, your actions, you might need to start slowing down how much actions you're expressing and the things that's on your mind that you're communicating towards these people, places, and things that you're that's on your mind that you're valuing, in order for you to get what you respect back on an even percentage scale, as far as you getting valued and stuff like that, and getting reciprocation and correspondence and stuff like that, and consideration, where people are considerate of you and they can help you in some way, shape, or form, mentally, physically, or mentally or physically. Then that's going to take you into the sixth house, something that's dealing with a dream, imagination, fantasy, or what you got faith and belief in, and you can learn if it's a delusion or not when it comes to your work, health, routine, scheduling, and things you do on a day-to-day basis, or your responsibilities. And you'll be able to decipher if you're the lower octave, or you're taking full responsibility of everything you got going on in your life, higher octave. Then let's say if you got Cancer in the 11th house, right? You're gonna have to have some emotional intelligence when it comes to deciphering what you should be associated with or not. Then that's going to take you into the third house, right? There's going to be some type of action, some type of viewpoints, your way of communicating, what you talk about, what's on your mind, and your passions and motivations that you're going to have to start retracting and put more in the dark from being in the spotlight amongst your environment and the people that you're familiar with, like your friends and stuff like that, in your friend circle. Then that's going to take you into the seventh house, a dream, imagination, or a fantasy, or a delusion, or a faith-based scenario based on a relationship in some way is going to be able to be deciphered, and you're going to be able to know if you're the lower octave or the higher octave of the scenario or the event, to be able to change and transform this and have more emotional intelligence. Last but not least, if you got Cancer in the 12th house, right? Cancer in the 12th house, you're gonna have some emotional. You're gonna need some emotional intelligence when it comes to your dreams, imaginations that can develop as a creativity or a delusion, and you're gonna need to know how to decipher between what to have faith and belief in. You know what I'm saying, in some way, shape, or form, so it can develop your spiritual nature and your emotional intelligence, so you can know what to show and what not to show to get the right reactions, or just on a percentage scale that suits you the most to know what to adjust or not to adjust, even if it is rejection. Then that's gonna take you into the fourth house. There's something that's dealing with home, family, or domestic issues, or even privacy that you need to act more on and view things where there's no one else around. So you can start viewing things in private, the sun, so you can start opening up your throat chakra or communicate, or have your mind be at more secret and more private peace. Scorpio there in some way, shape, or form with Mars, your passion, motivation, and your desires. And Mars falls here. So with Mars falling here, you might feel fatigued, but you being in private, in some way, shape, or form, taking actions in private by yourself, that fatigueness can get replaced without that fart cloud of peer pressure of wanting to be seen a certain way, with energies of developing new thoughts. So when you get unfatigued, or even if you're not fatigued at all, you got better motivation for your passions, even the ones that you was going for that was making you angry. You got a better emotional intelligence to go for it without it making you angry, and it can affect you a different way that can transmute into something positive. Then you're going to take that into the 8th house. Something that's dealing with your dreams, imaginations, or your fantasies, or your delusions, or your faith-based scenarios, right? Is going to be able to have that compare and contrasting energy based upon people, places, and things that you can actually see in that dark area to be able to transform and bring to the surface, to bring it into a positive area, to be able to compare and contrast if you're the higher or the lower octave or whatever you got going on. And I love all y'all from the bottom of my heart. You know what I'm saying? Let me go ahead and finish this goddamn mixtape. Yeah.